Shalom Mishpachah and Havarim. Many blessings to you all. And Tudi, thank you for joining us here in fellowship to share the book of Jubilees. Today we will read chapters 21 through 25. But before we start, let's bow our hearts and pitch this tent with Elohim. Most beloved Heavenly Father, we come before you most humbly to worship you and you alone, to praise you and exalt you, lifting you up above all else in our lives, and to thank you, Abba, for everything you are. Thank you for bringing us here in fellowship to share your word. Please empty us of our own thoughts and ideas about what we think we know, and fill us full of your Ruach HaKodesh. Open our eyes, ears and hearts to see, hear and understand with your light, with the light of your truth. Bless us with your wisdom to discern your truth from man's standards and convictions. Fill us with your knowledge and understanding, not our own misguided conceptions, and help us in holding all we learn up to the scripture you provide for us, Father. I pray that you keep us safe and well in these tumultuous times we're all experiencing. Surround all those with a true heart for you, with a triple Gader HaKodesh. Thank you for the many, many blessings you bestow upon us, the lessons you teach us, the love you have for us, for the word you grow us with, and for the spirit that you change us with. You are our life and our love. Through Yeshua in Yahweh, great in Kodeshah, Yahweh Ehad. Amen. So I've left up the glossary and the pronunciation guide for your reference. So let's get comfortable to hear these words with an open heart and an open mind. Okay, chapter 21. And in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Yovel, Avraham called Yitzchak, his son, and commanded him, saying, I have become old and do not know the day of my death, and am full of my days. And see, I am 175 years old, and throughout all the days of my life I have remembered Yahweh, and sought with all my heart to do his desire, and to walk uprightly in all his ways. My being has hated idols, that I might observe to do the desire of him who created me. For he is the living Elohim, and he is Kodesh and trustworthy, and he is righteous beyond all, and with him there is no partiality and no accepting of bribes. For Elohim is righteous and executes right ruling on all those who transgress his commands and despise his covenant. And you, my son, shall observe his commands and his laws and his right rulings, and do not walk after the abominations, and after the carved images, and after the moulded images, and eat no blood at all, of beasts or cattle, or of any bird which flies in the Shamayim. And if you slaughter whatever as an acceptable peace offering, you slay it and pour out its blood upon the altar, and all the fat of the offering offer on the altar with fine flour mixed with oil, and its drink offering offer them all together on the altar of burnt offering. It is a sweet fragrance before Yahweh. And you shall offer the fat of the slaughtering of thanksgiving on the fire which is upon the altar, and the fat that covers the entrails, and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, you shall remove together with the kidneys, and offer all these for a sweet fragrance acceptable before Yahweh, and its grain offering, and with its drink offering with a sweet fragrance, the bread of the offering to Yahweh. And eat its meat on that day, and on the second day, and do not let the sun on the second day go down on it till it is eaten, no waste. And let none be left over for the third day, for it is not acceptable, and let it no longer be eaten. And all who eat of it shall bring sin upon themselves, for thus I have found it written in the books of my forefathers, and in the words of Hanok, and in the words of Noah. And you shall put salt on all your offerings, and do not let the salt of the covenant be lacking in all your offerings before Yahweh. And regarding the word of the slaughterings, beware lest you bring wood to the altar in addition to these: cypress, dephran, sagad, pine, fir, cedar, juniper, palm, olive, myrrh, laurel, and citron, broom, and balsam. And of these kinds of wood put upon the altar under the offering, such as have been tried as to their appearance, and do not place any split or dark wood, hard and clean, without fault, a sound and new growth, and do not place old wood, and there is no longer fragrance in it as before. Besides these kinds of wood, there is none other that you shall place, for the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of its fragrance does not ascend to the Shamayim. Observe this command and do it, my son, and you may be upright in all your deeds. And at all times be clean in your body, and wash yourself with water before you approach to offer on the altar, and wash your hands and your feet before you draw near to the altar. And when you are done offering, wash your hands and your feet again. And let no blood appear upon you, nor on your clothes. Be on your guard, my son, against blood. Be on your guard exceedingly. Cover it with dust. And do not eat any blood, for it is the life. Eat no blood whatsoever. And take no gifts for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impunity, without right ruling. For it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to sin, and the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of man, except by the blood of him who shed it. Goodness me. And take no bribe or gift for the blood of man, blood for blood, that you may be accepted before Yahweh, the Most High Ale, for he is the defence of the good, and that you may be preserved from all evil, and that he saves you from every kind of death. Thank you, Father. I see, my son, that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness, and all their deeds are uncleanness, and an abomination and a defilement, and there is no righteousness with them. Beware lest you walk in their ways, and tread in their paths, and sin a sin unto death before the Most High Ale. He shall give you back into the hands of your transgression, and root you out of the land, and your seed likewise from under the Shamayim, and your name and your seed shall perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the law of the Most High Ale, and do his desire, and be upright in all matters. and he shall barak you in all your deeds, and shall raise up from you the branch of righteousness from all the earth, throughout all generations of the earth, and my name and your name shall not be forgotten under the Shamayim forever. Go in peace, my son. May the Most High El, my Elohim and your Elohim, strengthen you to do his desire, and may he barak all your seed and the remnant of your seed for generations forever, with all righteous berachoth, that you may be a berachah on all the earth. And he went out from him rejoicing. Chapter 22. And it came to be in the first week, in the 44th Yobelim, in the second year, that is, the year in which Avraham died, that Yitzchak and Yishmael came from Be'er Shiva to celebrate the feast of Shavuot, that is, the feast of the first fruits of the harvest, to Avraham their father. And Avraham rejoiced because his 2 sons had come. For Yitzchak had many possessions in Be'er Shiva, and Yitzchak used to go and see his possessions and to return to his father. And in those days Yishmael came to see his father, and they both came together, and Yitzchak offered a slaughtering for a burnt offering, and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a slaughtering of thanksgiving, and made a feast of joy before Yishmael his brother. And Ribkah made new cakes from the new grain, and gave them to Yaakov her son, to take them to Avraham his father, from the first fruits of the land, that he might eat and barak the Creator of all matters before he died. And Yitzchak too sent by the hand of Yaakov to Avraham a best slaughtering of thanksgiving, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank and barak the Most High El, who has created the Shamayim and the earth, who has made all the fatness of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and barak their Creator. Yirei Yahweh. Thank you, Abba. And now I give thanks to you, my Elohim, because you have caused me to see this day. See, I am 175 years, an old man, and full of days, and all my days have been peace unto me. The sword of the adversary has not overcome me in all that you have given my children, and I, all the days of my life until this day. My Elohim, may your kindness and your peace be upon your servant, and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to you a chosen nation and an inheritance from among all the nations of the earth, from this time to forever, of the generations of the earth, unto all the ages. And he called Yaakov and said, My son Yaakov, may the Elohim of all barak you, and strengthen you to do righteousness, and his desire before him. And may he choose you and your seed, that you become a people for his inheritance according to his desire always. And you, my son Yaakov, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him, and he said, Baruch be my son Yaakov, and all the sons of Elohim Most High, unto all the ages. May Elohim give unto you a seed of righteousness, and some of your sons may be kadosh in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve you, and all the nations bow themselves before your seed. Be strong in the presence of men, and exercise authority over all the seed of Sheth. Then your ways and the ways of your sons shall be declared right, so that they shall become a Kodesh nation. May the Most High El give you all the Berachoth, the blessings, with which he has blessed me, and with which he barak Noah and Adam. May they rest on the Kodesh head of your seed, from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse you from all unrighteousness and impurity, that you may be forgiven all transgressions, your sins of ignorance. And may he strengthen you and barak you, and may you inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with you, that you may be to him a nation for his inheritance for all the ages, and that he may be to you and to your seed an Elohim in truth and righteousness throughout all the days of the earth. And you, my son Yaakov, remember my words and observe the commands of Avraham your father. Separate yourself from the nations, and do not eat with them, and do not do according to their works, and do not become their associate. For their works are unclean, and all their ways are defiled, and an abomination and uncleanness. They offer their offerings to the dead, and they worship evil spirits, and they eat over the graves, and all their works are worthless and emptiness. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are, and how they stray in saying to a piece of wood, you are my mighty one, and to a stone, you are my master, and you are my deliverer. And as for you, my son Yaakov, may the Most High El help you, and the Elohim of the Shamayim Barak bless you, and remove you from their uncleanness, and from all their straying. Beware, my son Yaakov, of taking a wife from any seed of the daughters of Canaan, for all his seed is to be rooted out of the earth. For, owing to the transgression of Ham, Canaan strayed, and all his seed shall be destroyed from off the earth, and all his remnant, and none springing from him shall be saved on the day of judgment. And as for all the worshippers of idols and the profane, there shall be no hope for them in the land of the living, and there shall be no remembrance of them on the earth, for they shall descend into the grave, and into the place of condemnation they shall go, and the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth. So shall all those who worship idols be taken away. Do not fear, my son Yaakov, and be not dismayed, O son of Avraham. May the Most High El preserve you from destruction, and may he deliver you from all the paths of straying. This house I have built for myself, that I might put my name upon it in the earth, and it shall be named the House of Avraham. It is given to you and to your seed forever. For you shall build my house and establish my name before Elohim forever. Your seed and your name shall stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and to barak him. And the two lay together on one bed, and Yaakov slept in the bosom of Avraham his father's father, and he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he barak him with all his heart, and said, the Most High El, the Elohim of all, and Creator of all, who brought me out of Kasdim, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a Kodesh seed. Baruch be the Most High forever. And he barak Yaakov and said, My son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice, may your favour and your kindness be lifted up on him and upon his seed always, and do not forsake him, nor despise him, from this time and forever. And may your eyes be open on him and upon his seed, that you may preserve him, and barak him, and may kadosh him as a nation for your inheritance, and barak him with all your birachoth, with all your blessings, from this time and forever, and renew your covenant and your favour with him, and with his seed, according to all your good pleasure unto all generations of the earth. Chapter 23. And he placed 2 fingers of Yaakov on his eyes, and he barak the Elohim of mighty ones, and he covered his face and stretched out his feet, and slept the everlasting sleep, and was gathered to his fathers. And through all this Yaakov was lying in his bosom, and did not know that Avraham his father's father was dead. And Yaakov awoke from his sleep, and see, Avraham was cold as ice. And he said, Father, Father. But there was none that spoke, and he knew that he was dead. And he arose from his bosom, and ran and told Ribkah his mother. And Ribkah went to Yitzchak in the night, and told him. And they went together, and Yaakov with them, and their lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Avraham lying dead. And Yitzchak fell on his face, on the face of his father, and wept and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Avraham. And Yishmael his son arose, and went to Avraham his father, and wept over Avraham his father, he and all the house of Avraham, and they wept with a great weeping. And his sons Yitzchak and Yishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Sarah his wife. And they wept for him 40 days, all the men of his house, and Yitzchak and Yishmael and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places. And the days of weeping for Avraham were ended. And he lived 3 Yobelim and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 Yobelim, but after the flood they began to grow less than 19 Yobelim, and to decrease in Yobelim, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of much tribulation and the wickedness of their ways, with the exception of Avraham. For Avraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahweh, and well-pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And see, he did not complete 4 Yobelim in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was full of his days. And all the generations which shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment shall grow old quickly, before they complete 2 Yobelim. Wow. That's 100 or 98 years. And their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age. And in those days, if a man lives a Yovel and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long That's 75 years old, people. We're living in those days now, most definitely. But the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity follows on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil words on evil words, and sickness on sickness, and all evil judgments, such as these, one with another, sickness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice, and fever and chills and languishing, and scarcity of food and death, and sword and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these shall come on an evil generation which transgresses on the earth. Their works are uncleanness and whoring and pollution and abominations. Definitely sounds like these days. When they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many, to 1,000 years, and were good. But see, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 70 years, and he is strong 80 years, and those evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons shall convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they do, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahweh made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commands, and his laws, and all his Torah, without departing, either to the right hand or to the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks wickedness, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. See, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, and no oil, for their works are altogether unbelieving, and they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds, and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, and the lowly with the great, and the needy with the prince, on account of the Torah and the covenant. For they have forgotten command and covenant and festivals and new moons and Shabbatoth and Yobelim and all right rulings. And they shall stand with swords and battle to turn them back to the way. And they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. This is religion wars, isn't it? Okay. And those who have escaped shall not turn from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, and they may each take all that is his neighbour's, and they shall name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness, and they shall defile the most Kodesh place with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment shall come upon the deeds of this generation from Yahweh, and he shall give them over to the sword, and to judgment, and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he shall wake against them the sinners of the Gentiles, who have neither kindness nor compassion, and who shall respect the face of none, neither old nor young nor anyone, for they are more wicked and mighty to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Israel and transgression against Yaakov, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud, and call and pray, that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the Gentiles, but none shall be saved. And the heads of the children shall be white with grey hair. And a child of 3 weeks shall appear old, like a man of 100 years. And their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the laws, and to seek the commands, and to return to the way of righteousness. And the days shall begin to grow many, and increase among those children of men, till their days draw near to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than was their number of the days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is not satisfied with his days, for all shall be children and youths. And all their days they shall complete, and live in peace and in joy. And there shall be no adversary, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of berakah and healing, of blessing and healing. And at that time Yahweh shall heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. Wow. And their bones shall rest in the earth, and their spirits shall have much joy. And they shall know it is Yahweh who executes right ruling, and shows kindness to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And you, Moshe, shall write down these words, for so they are written and recorded on the tablets of the Shamayim, for a witness for the generations forever. Chapter 24. And it came to be after the death of Avraham, that Yahweh barak Yitzchak, his son, and he went up from Hebron, and went and dwelt at Be'er Lachai Roi, in the first year of the 3rd week of this Yovel, 7 years. And in the first year of the 4th week a scarcity of food began in the land, besides the first scarcity of food, which had been in the days of Avraham. And Yaakov cooked lentil stew, and Esau came from the field hungry, and he said to Yaakov his brother, give me of this red stew. And Yaakov said to him, sell to me your birthright, and I shall give you bread, and also some of this lentil stew. And Esau said in his heart, I shall die. Of what profit to me is this birthright? And he said to Yaakov, I give it to you. And Yaakov said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And Yaakov gave his brother Esau bread and stew, and he ate till he was satisfied. But Esau despised his birthright. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red stew which Yaakov gave him for his birthright. And Yaakov became the elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. And a scarcity of food was over the land, and Yitzchak departed to go down to Mitzrayim in the 2nd year of this week, and went to the sovereign of the Pelishites, to Gerar, to Abimelech. And Yahweh appeared to him and said to him, do not go down into Mitzrayim. Dwell in the land that I tell you, and sojourn in this land, and I shall be with you and barak you. For to you and to your seed I shall give all this land, and I shall establish my oath which I swore unto Avraham your father, and I shall multiply your seed as the stars of the Shamayim, and shall give unto your seed all this land, and in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be Baruch, because your father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commands, and my Torah, and my laws, and my covenant, and now obey my voice, and dwell in this land. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years, it's 21 years. And Abimelech commanded concerning him, and concerning all that was his, saying, any man that touches him, or any that is his, shall certainly die. And Yitzchak grew strong among the Pelishites, and he gained many possessions, oxen and sheep and camels and donkeys, and a large household, and he sowed in the land of the Pelishites, and brought in 100-fold, and Yitzchak became exceedingly great, and the Pelishites envied him. Now, all the wells which the servants of Avraham had dug during the life of Avraham, the Pelishites had stopped them up after the death of Avraham, and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said to Yitzchak, go from us, for you are much mightier than we. And Yitzchak departed from there in the 1st year of the 7th week, and sojourned in the Wadi Gerar. And they dug again the wells of water, which the servants of Avraham his father had dug, and which the Pelishites had stopped up after the death of Avraham his father, and he called their names as Avraham his father had named them. And the servants of Yitzchak dug a well in the Wadi, and found running water. And the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Yitzchak, saying, the water is ours. And Yitzchak called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with us. And they dug a second well, and they strove for that too, and he called its name Sitnah. And he arose from there, and they dug another well, and they did not strive for that, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. And Yitzchak said, now Yahweh has made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he went up from there to Be'er Shiva in the 1st year of the 1st week in the 44th Yobelim. And Yahweh appeared to him that night on the new moon on the 1st month, and said to him, I am the Elohim of Avraham your father. Do not fear, for I am with you, and shall barak you, and shall surely multiply your seed as the sand of the earth, for the sake of Avraham my servant. And he built an altar there, which Avraham his father had first built, and he called on the name of Yahweh, and he offered an offering to the Elohim of Avraham his father. And they dug a well, and they found running water. And the servants of Yitzchak dug another well, but did not find water. And they went and told Yitzchak that they had not found water. And Yitzchak said, I have sworn this day to the Pelishites, and this matter has been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the Be'er Shiva, for there he had sworn to Abimelech and Ahuzath his friend, and Pichol the commander of his army. And Yitzchak knew that day that he had sworn to them under constraint to make peace with them. And Yitzchak on that day cursed the Pelishites, and said, Cursed be the Pelishites unto the day of wrath and displeasure from the midst of all nations. May Elohim make them a mockery and a curse, and an object of wrath and displeasure in the hands of the sinners, the Gentiles, and in the hands of Kittim. And whoever escapes the sword of the enemy and of Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under the Shamayim, for they shall be the enemies and foes of my children throughout their generations on the earth, and no remnant shall be left to them, nor one that shall be saved on the day of the wrath of judgment for destruction and rooting out and expulsion from the earth is for the whole seed of the Pelashites. And there shall no longer be left a name for these Kaphtorim, or a seed on the earth. For though he ascends to the Shamayim, from there shall he be brought down. And though he makes himself strong on earth, from there shall he be dragged out. And though he hides himself among the nations, even from there shall he be rooted out. And though he descend into the grave, there also shall his punishment be great, and there also he shall have no peace. And if he goes into captivity by the hands of those that seek his life, shall they slay him on the way, and neither name nor seed shall be left to him on all the earth, for into everlasting reproach he shall depart. And thus is it written and engraved concerning him on the tablets of the Shamayim, to do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out of the earth. Chapter 25. And in the 2nd year of this week, in this Yovel, Rivkah called Yaakov, her son, and spoke to him, saying, My son, do not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau your brother, who took 2 wives of the daughters of Canaan, and they have embittered my being with all their unclean deeds, and all their deeds are whoring and lust, and there is no righteousness with them because of evil. Naughty Esau. And I love you exceedingly, my son, and my heart and my affection barak you every hour of the day and watch of the night. And now, my son, listen to my voice, and do the desire of your mother, and do not take yourself a wife of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father, and of my father's relatives. You shall take a wife of the house of my father, and the Most High El shall barak you, and your children shall be a righteous generation and a Kodesh seed. And then Yaakov spoke to Rivkah his mother, and said to her, See, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have touched any woman, nor have I engaged myself to any, nor even thought of taking myself a wife of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Avraham, our father, for he commanded me not to take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, but to take for myself a wife from the seed of my father's house and from my relatives. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Lavan, your brother, and I have laid my heart on them to take a wife from among them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my spirit against sinning or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and whoring, Avraham my father gave me many commands. And despite all that he has commanded me, these 22 years my brother has strove with me and spoken frequently to me and said, My brother, take to wife a sister of my 2 wives, and I refuse to do as he has done. I swear before you, mother, that all the days of my life I shall not take for myself a wife from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I shall not act wickedly as my brother has done. Do not fear, mother, be assured that I shall do your desire and walk in uprightness and not corrupt my ways forever. And afterward she lifted up her face to the Shamayim, and extended the fingers of her hands, and opened her mouth, and barach the Most High El, who had created the Shamayim and the earth, and she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, Barach be Yahweh Elohim, and may his Kodesh name be Barach forever and ever, who has given me Yaakov as a pure son and a Kodesh seed. And he is yours, and his seed shall be yours continually and throughout all the generations forever. Barach him, O Adonai, and place in my mouth the birchoth of righteousness, the blessing of righteousness, that I may barach him, bless him. And in that hour, when the spirit of righteousness descended into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Yaakov and said, Barach are you, Adon of righteousness, and Elohim of the ages. And may he barach you beyond all the generations of men. May he give you, my son, the path of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to your seed. And may he make your sons many during your life, and may they arise according to the number of the months of year. And may their sons become many and great beyond the stars of the Shamayim, and their numbers be more than the sand of the sea. And may he give them this good land, as he said he would give it to Avraham and to his seed after him always, and may they hold it as an everlasting possession. And may I see to you, my son, Baruch, blessed children during my life, and a Baruch and Kodesh seed may all your seed be. And as you have refreshed your mother's spirit during life, the womb of her that bore you barach you, and my breast barach you, and my mouth and my tongue praise you greatly. Increase and spread over the earth, and may your seed be perfect in the joy of the Shamayim and earth forever. And may your seed rejoice, and on the great day of peace may it have peace. And may your name and your seed endure to all ages, and may the Most High El be their Elohim. And may the Elohim of righteousness dwell with them, and by them may his Mikdash be built unto all the ages. Barach is he that barach you, and all flesh that curses you falsely, may it be cursed. And she kissed him, and said to him, May Yahweh of the world love you as the heart of your mother, and her affection rejoice in you and barach you. And she ceased from Berechoth. Oh, Amen. End of chapter 25 and halfway through the book. What a huge blessing, a huge Berechoth. The end of Avraham, and a new age begins with his children. Maybe another beginning of the end. Okay, so this book is instilling in me, definitely, a new appreciation and love for Avraham and his family. I love reading with their true names and not the translations. Even that minor change affects my heart. I hope it affects yours. Anyway, most beloved Abba Yahweh Elohim, we thank you most humbly for bringing us here together in fellowship and helping us to grow and change, to be more pleasing to you each day, every hour and every minute, Father. Thank you, to the Abba, for your patience and your love, for never giving up on us, for your invitation, and for pitching tents with us each day. Thank you for all the blessings you bestow upon us, even the ones we don't even know about, the ones we're unaware of. Please forgive us for not being better than we are. I humbly ask you to make us more pleasing to you as each hour passes, Father. Only by your grace do we come before you, and only by your grace are we saved. Thank you, Abba Yahweh Elohim. Through Yeshua, in Yahweh, Yahweh our Kodesh dedicated Elohim, Yahweh Echad, Yahweh is one. Amen. So, shalom everybody. Go in peace, and may you all have everything you need to be whole and complete. Much ahav, much love, and much hedwah, much joy to you all, my chaverim and mishpacha, wherever you may be. I'll see you soon here or there. Stay watching and waiting, and spreading the word, sharing the good news, and glowing in growth and excitement.
The seeds of truth.